I didn't know.
Check it out. Check it out. Hey, we're here on the Pirate Broadcast, and it's Friday the 13th, a full moon, and we're going to pull some shenanigans on the Pirate Broadcast with Terry Bean. And I just want to thank you for being here. If you're on the replay, tap in replay, #replay, so I can actually come back and respond to comments. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And, you know, you may be knowing it by now that I'm on social media here and there. And if you follow me, I'd love to have you like, share, and comment on anything that you see along the way. And Terry, good morning. How is Detroit today?
Detroit's awesome, man. I'm about 30 miles just north of it, but it's wow, what a comeback story that place is.
Well, you should know Brenda Miller up that way.
Brenda Miller is the reason I'm talking to you specifically. Right? So yeah, I've known Brenda for a minute. Gosh, probably 2007, 2008, back maybe even right before her Walsh College days, but definitely during. And then watching her entrepreneurial rise and take flight, and what a pile of awesome sauce that young lady is.
So how did you arrive here today doing what you're doing? Because I know you got a lot of things going on, and I just wanted to make sure that we understand what those things are.
Mm-hmm. It's been a long, strange trip, right? It's like a Grateful Dead tune a little bit. I'm a sales guy by trade, but an educator at heart. So I started out doing some sales in the technology space. I sold boxes and people and a bunch of different things. But what I was really, really good at was going in, understanding the customer need, and then connecting them with the resources they needed to see those fulfilled. I was much better at getting other people business than my own company business. And so fast forward a few years, I started with a networking group in Columbus, Ohio. 26, 27 was an area director running a handful of chapters, moved back up to Michigan and couldn't find what I was looking for. So I made the confluence of what was going on in the online networking scene and married that up with the real world networking scene and really put together one of the first hybrid local business networking organizations probably on the globe. And have been doing that for close to 15 years now. As a result of that, somebody said, "Hey, we need a speaker to come in and talk about networking." I'm like, "I know how to flap these gums, baby. I'll make that happen." And so that took off, man. So I started speaking, started teaching people social media. Been teaching folks how to use LinkedIn since 2005.
Yeah.
And other social tools. And I do some leadership talks and some business growth talks and some personal development talks. And speaking's fun, but there's a lot of people who are like, "You want to speak? I have lunch for you," but that doesn't pay a lot of bills, right?
Yeah, that doesn't keep the lights on. No.
Yeah, it doesn't. It barely the gas to get to the lunch, right?
Yeah.
So I started doing some business coaching and some personal coaching. So I play in three spaces, man. I train, I speak, I coach. My coach would tell me those are the same damn thing. Stop acting like they're different. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's all the same. Like I'm a knowledge worker, Mr. Johns.
Well, and here's the beauty of it is what used to be, and Detroit is a perfect example of an organization in a city, in a community that has gone through so many transformations, just like us as individuals. I've been in and out of corporate organizations. I've been doing my own thing. I started out as a musician. I built networks at different times and bringing people together. And really, it's really about understanding that you have a community that you can actually connect with and become a part of. And for those watching and those listening on the podcast, you can connect with Terry at LinkedIn _in-Terry Bean, or Try Bean is another connection there. So
yeah, definitely use the Terry Bean. The Try Bean's a business page that I have, but not that I use, right? Because there's a big difference in terms of having things and using things.
Well, explain that to us a little bit more detail. Terry?
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where you've got the time and the energy, but you don't necessarily keep the focus, right? It's social media for me is a really weird world because there's so many different places to be and to play and to stake your ground and to actually hang out, right? And
Yeah.
as a business guy and a practitioner, there's really like you kind of have to focus. So I mean, I have the Tri-Beam page, I have the Networks page, I have the Motor City Connect page, I have the Business Growth Time page, I have the
Yeah.
TEDx Detroit page, and that's LinkedIn, that's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, right?
Uh-huh.
I, Dude, there's one of me. I'm not a social
There's so many
media.
places to play and so many distractions along the way.
That's it. You got to just figure out where are you going to spend that time and where are you going to be found, right? So it's good if you have those and then you have a pointer. Hey, yo, I'm here, but not really. I'm really over here. So
Yeah.
you gotta own the ground, right? You gotta stake your claim, but you gotta tell people where you're going to be so they can actually engage with you.
Well, and over time, I think having some tough love and having another person or some other coach, tell us, that's why coaching is so important, and having someone point it out that because we get in our own space and we get kind of blind to these things and we go off and squirrel, and here and there and everything else, and the next thing you know, it's like, okay, we've got another project. I'm constantly. I mean, I never run out of ideas. I never have had a shortage of ideas. It's just a shortage of time. And so you have to really step back and decide, okay, what am I going to do with my time? How am I going to use my time to the best advantage possible to help the most people I can? And that's really what it's about. I want to give a shout out here, Terry, to some people. Vicky O'Neill, Angie, good morning. Sherry Lawley, Kenyatta Turner, thank you so much for being here. Brenda, good to see you in Metro Detroit. Excited to see you, Terry. Woohoo!
Yeah, we just got done talking about you, Brenda.
Yeah, we were talking about you. And Anish, Dr. Anish. Lewis, thank you so much. Good morning. Feeling better. Good deal. Kathy, this is the thing. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. We'll try to answer them as we're live. And this broadcast is about interesting people doing interesting things. And Terry is one of those individuals that I get the sense, Terry, that, looking at some of the things you've done and having conversation is that you're able to do a lot of things. You're multidimensional. And one of the benefits of that you have an opinion and a thought about a lot of things and you can help a lot of people. The downside, though, is much like what I've experienced in my life is that a lot of people sometimes struggle about how you can help them because you can do so many things, right? And yeah. I know that in branding and marketing and sales, if you're known for a thing, then it's much easier for people to attract people and engage people and really grab onto people. Does that resonate with you? And can you speak to that a little bit?
Not at all, man. I've never experienced anything you're talking about, dude. What are you
talking about?
The world is kind of full of box checkers.
Yeah.
And in order to be a box checker, they want to be able to put things in a box, right? And I'm not using think outside the box or anything to do with the box right now, but I used to tell people I'm a triple threat, man. I can write, I can speak, I can present, I can dance, I can sing, I can act. I can't sing it all, trust me. I can do it a little bit. But yeah,
if you can, doesn't mean you should, right?
This is it, right? We're talking about, even like my car is like, can you stop, please? The shower turns off in the middle of it.
It immediately goes cold.
We are done with you and your singing, boy. But when you have a multitude of talents, right, and people want to put you in a box. I was a recruiter for a number of years, and that's what we did, right? The whole job was, how do I fit you into this little compartment? And it's really kind of difficult to put an entire body of work into that. Ultimately, I would tell you that I'm a promoter. at heart. You know, I
Yeah.
mentioned the idea of being an educator, but you know, because of the way social media is, I like to, you know, like Brenda does, I like to shine the light on people that are doing good, like you're doing right here. It's about
That's the whole purpose of the Pirate Broadcast. If I can highlight a few people around the neighborhood here, you know, that just to me, it just strengthens the community in a different way. You know,
right.
these tools we have in the social media, we've never in the history of mankind, humankind, have ever had this opportunity to highlight and shine and share information like we do today. I mean, 5 years ago, this broadcast like this would not be possible. And now we're jumping on morning. You know, you didn't have to do anything except hop on, you know, and connect with me and be connected. And now we're broadcasting on Facebook, we're broadcasting on LinkedIn, we're broadcasting on YouTube. And before the end of that day, it will be up on a blog post and a podcast. And the opportunity to connect is amazing.
It's pretty staggering, right? And it's been one of those things that I've been fascinated by and, you know, dare I say, pioneering for the last couple of decades, right?
Yeah.
You know, people confuse me with a social media expert because I've been on the socials for so long, right? I got on Twitter before Twitter had 1 million people. But that was because I was on Facebook the day that Facebook opened to gray hairs and no hairs. And that was because I was on LinkedIn before they had 1.6
No hair, don't care.
Right, man. Look at it. I gave myself a haircut today. How do I look, man? Am I
You look pretty sharp, Terry. You look pretty sharp.
What's up, man? So it's, you know, when you get on these tools, and I got on them with the sole purpose of being able to help people get better connected. Right? How do I serve more people? It was really the question. That's why Motor City Connect exists, and Motor City Connect kind of birthed TEDx Detroit, and that's why we do this stuff over at TEDx Detroit, where we're having a couple 3,000 people show up to a day-long event and leaving all juiced up and ready to go. You know, and those things kind of perpetuate each other, and it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
It's just when you step back and you realize the way we connect today and the possibilities of making those connections. Like there are so many. I was talking to somebody the other day about dropping into different countries and traveling around the country and just putting together, you know, like Shelley does, you know, she does the LinkedIn lattes, you know, and if she's anywhere around town, you know, she can hop in and have a coffee with somebody on LinkedIn. And that to me is the most powerful thing in the world, is being able to build a relationship across any geography, any boundaries. And social media has brought that. And that, you know, I really encourage people to build a deeper relationship, build a connection, have a conversation just like this. Because it's, you know, it's one thing to leave a message and say, hi, you know, great post, blah, blah, blah. But dive in a little deeper and allow their personality to come onto the table. There's a lot of people that probably have never seen you speak or talk or have a conversation with you, but they know your posts, they know your content out there on social media in a unique way. But having a conversation is, I think, the next level deeper, right?
That's why Motor City connects that online and real world stuff, right? You can build a vast ton of relationships online. There's no ifs or buts. You can actually kind of ferret out who you want to take a deeper dive with, and I think that's really important. But if you're not taking that deeper dive, right, and it doesn't have to be toe to toe and face to face, but it definitely has to be voice to voice, where we're sharing some level of time together. And with video communication the way it is, I was a huge fan of Blab 3, 4, 5 years ago. Right? Were you on that? You remember that?
Oh yeah, I love Blab.
That was such a
what was it about Blab that just made it so magic? I mean, it was just a magic platform that I wanted to cry when it finished, because you just jump on and the community was amazing and people were just loving it. And it's like, They pulled the plug on it. It's like, yeah, we're not going to do this.
It was Twitter 2008, man. That's what it was. It was like the super curious early adopter type cool cats that were like, yeah, man, and those that make time for people, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the difference. I went and did a speaking tour a couple of years ago, and it was called "Stop Telling Everyone You're Busy." Right? Because that's like the mindset we have over the last couple of years is I'm grinding, I'm hustling, I'm busy. I'm like, stop with all that noise, right?
I
That
don't want to
nobody
be
wants to
busy.
hear. No, I want to have fun. I want to meet cool people. I want to do cool shit, right? I want to enjoy what's going on. I don't
Yeah.
want to add stress just in the language I'm using. Give me a break. So
Yeah.
it's, those people on Blab, I think viscerally understood that.
Yeah.
That's what separated it.
That's a great way of thinking about it too, because you know, the first thing I type on the computer when I come in after my password is gratitude.
Nice.
So my mindset every day, and
I think Russ's password's gratitude, everybody. I just like if you ever see his laptop, just grab that.
I had to show you my screen. And in fact, Tanya Alvarez yesterday on the Pirate Broadcast, she puts out a PDF, and one of her tools is Momentum Dash. And Momentum Dash is a cool tool that you can actually install it's a plugin, and it allows you to actually write your priority list for the day and check off your list and make sure that your agenda and your priorities are taken care of. However, I use it in a slightly different way, putting my intent out there. And I want to find joy in the day. I want to be able to help someone, make some smiles, because smiles are free, and share a little kindness in the morning. That's why I do this in the morning, Terry, is it gets my day started off in the right dimension, and it's just a way in a taking action develops habits, right? You said you were working out this morning, and it's like, okay, good on you, man. This is my workout right now. So I'm working out, trying to put a few smiles out there, trying to share a little bit of information from interesting people and do good. And what's wrong with that? I mean, what's the downside?
There's nothing, man, nothing at all. And you talk about, having good days and having good memories throughout the day, and kind of being focused on that positivity, right? I conceived this concept called momentary mastery a long time ago, and it's really about we have to just focus on being more present to what's going on, right? And one of the sayings I use to support momentary mastery is love the moments you live, and you will live the moments you love. Right. And it's really just that idea of how do you be so present. I haven't had a bad day since 2005. And that's when I started thinking about moments, right?
Yeah.
Days are nothing but a series of moments. We go, well, I had a bad day. No, something went really sideways on you for 63 seconds, and you
Yeah.
decided to wallow in it for 24 hours. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't build up and you don't have to, and you're not allowed
Stuff's
to.
going to happen every day. It doesn't
Every
really
day.
matter. Let it
Every
go.
day. Let it go, right? And you know what? Throw it in a little box, and then put that box in a compartment in your mind, and then go visit that shit whenever you need it. You don't have to carry all that crap with you into every single interaction. You just don't.
No, I love that. I love that. That is a brilliant way of looking at it. And I'm much the same way. It's like, okay, I can choose, and I think it's a decision. It's like, okay, somebody pulled out in traffic, right?
Right.
You can choose to say, what an ass hat, or you could say, they must be in a hurry. I don't know. You can frame it. A perspective in two different degrees can change the way your day runs and operates, right?
Absolutely.
You're the only one that is impacted. You're the only one that has any awareness of the frustration that you're feeling. It's like nobody else knows. Well,
they don't care. They're gone. They count.
They're out of there.
That's why they were in a hurry. Remember, they took off, cut you off. They did that to 3 other people. They did not think twice.
They did not think twice.
we were talking about, I was reading a post earlier about the idea of forgiveness, right? And
Mhm.
how it's of value to you, right? Is the person who's doing the forgiving.
Yeah.
And that's the point, right? It's like if we're forgiving somebody, it's because they hurt us or they made us mad or sad or whatever they did. And by forgiving, we're allowing that emotion to go away, right? We're not harboring or carrying that crap with us anymore. That's
Right.
what's important about forgiveness, not like how they're gonna feel about being forgiven. I want people to see life from the other side, right? And just understand the flip perspective of what most of us do. Yesterday you were talking, and it might have been Wednesday, but I think it was yesterday, you were talking about blind spots,
Yeah.
right? And how people have blind spots. And the challenge is for most of us with our blind spot is it's not like right here or here. It's not just outside of the periphery. It's normally 180 degrees from where we're facing, right? So it's the last thing we can ever see without totally spinning ourselves around. And
Yeah.
most people don't spin themselves around
Yeah. You're too busy grinding it out.
enough. I'm grinding. I'm busy, man. I'm so busy. It's got to hustle.
Gotta hustle. Gotta hustle. So I want to take a minute here and thank everybody for being here. Sherry, Kenyatta, Kathy. Kathy says you need to identify what starts it and let it go because it can snowball. Snowballs grow and
That's
they
right.
can be destructive, but they can bring destruction. Let it go early. I totally agree, Kathy. You couldn't say it better than that.
It's like a Frozen
I just
song right
really
there. She
go
got the
ahead.
whole Frozen thing going, right? She got Let It Go. She got Snowballs. I'm feeling it. It's Disney
I'm
magic right
feeling it. I'm feeling it. And Vicky, she loved Blab too as well. So Kenyatta, deeper dive. Brenda, love it. Yeah, we both trim our hair before we get on every morning. So
there. Saves time, and it gets
I,
crazy too. You should see it.
it is crazy, but it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple cut. It's like it's easy. And I just love the opportunity to bring a little bit of joy into the day and a little bit of opportunity to connect. And if we have anything that we can do during the day, uh, you know, do something positive for someone. A compliment, something simple. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It doesn't take a lot of time. So what's another way? What's on your future journey, Terry? We got 2020 come up, a new decade.
New decade.
It just seemed like I can't believe that 1999 was 20 years ago, but then so was 1980, right?
So it was 1980, man. It just seemed like the other day. All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You talk about, and this is a shameless self plug. So if I had a bell, I would ding it. Whoops, there it is. I'm knocking over my whole. That's perfect. I'm knocking over my whole setup. You can see how janky this is, right? No, that's awesome. Um, the TED Talk. We just did TEDx Detroit, and I got up and I talked about casting a positive stone, and I'm gonna throw that up, the video up on my LinkedIn profile. But it
Yeah.
was 8 ideas on how you can do that, right? How can you create a positive ripple in other people's day? And it's all simple stuff that you could probably do 7 of them today, right? Just
Mm.
that quick, that easily. As far as 2020 goes, I'm gonna kind of double down on what I'm doing, man. I'm gonna spend more time engaging with the right folks. I am gonna, and I threaten to do this often. I'm gonna top grade my network a little bit. I was at a happy hour the other day. I threw a LinkedIn local Detroit, and at one point, because it's kind of an open cattle call, I was talking to someone that I probably wouldn't normally talk to, not because of anything to do with them, but they're just
Right.
not my cup of
Just
tea.
circumstance. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So I was talking to them. I was looking at a friend of mine who was talking to someone he probably wouldn't be talking to, and I was like, "Why are we doing this?" Right. So from now on, I'm going to be much more intentional. If you get an invite to a happy hour to me, show up because it's going to be full of super cool people. I can promise you that. But you're not going to see it until after it's going on. So don't miss it. Brenda, I'm talking to you, Brenda. Melanie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it's late for you. I get it, but
We know we're talking about you.
Yeah. So no, but so I'm going to be a little bit more intentional about that. I'm going to take on a couple of more coaching clients because I like the impact. I had a meeting with one of my clients yesterday. He said, "I just love what you do. I have to figure out how to pay you more and spend more time with you next year." I was like, I was thinking you had to pay me more too. This is awesome. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. I'm going to go. Actually, Brenda referred me to the best referral I've gotten in my life. I'm going to go speak on a cruise in the Royal Caribbean, hanging out in Cozumel and Grand Cayman. It'll be
Oh, very
horrible.
cool.
Super sad about that. True.
It's
So
fantastic.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend more time talking to some HR people and getting in front of their little folks. And I'm going to move away from some of the social media talks and talk a little bit more about the person stuff, right? The
Yeah.
communication side, the psychology, the personality type, the execution, the focus, the getting stuff done kind of deal, as
Well,
opposed to running around talking about being busy.
well, and I think that you've been in social media long enough to understand that, really social media is just a tool to have a conversation.
That's right.
And when we frame it like any other tool, there's lots of tools we can use to have a conversation. And it's an introduction to a conversation, and the real magic happens when we actually have conversations, not just a social post out there. You can build brand awareness and everything else. And I'm a huge fan of video, and I think that there's some magic in having video available and communicating some of your messages to build that authority, that trust, that level of interest in the market. And so I'm gonna continue to pursue helping others with video as well. And
Mhm.
I think that's part of the equation. Like the TEDx talks. They blew up because they could then be shared on video and shared with thousands and millions of people. And some of these videos from TEDx talks are, they blow up and they just go everywhere. And it's
Sure.
and it's one of those things that, when you focus on the relationship, everything else seems to fall into place. So
That's
I
right.
just I just believe that that's the case, and if we share a little kindness, and I love the idea, Terry, of create a ripple in someone else's day. And I think Vicky O'Neill said it, that she loved that as well. Sounds cool. Uh, there's so many people out there that are looking for a little bit of direction and a little assistance and just some encouragement. So if you could pass some encouragement along and help somebody that's has a question or needs some assistance along the way. The analogy I use is, like you're going to a movie or something, there's people in front of you and people behind you. There's always going to be somebody else, but you're the unique person standing in line, and you have a piece of information, you have a gift that you can share with others. And your gift, Terry, is being able to be that multi-dimensional, the networker, the connector, the instigator of conversation. And I just applaud you for being here and thank you for your time.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure, man. I was excited about that. And as soon as I heard there was a pirate broadcast, I was like, "Where's the rum? Let's go! I gotta do
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Love it."
Well, it's
Um,
it's so funny because I started it as a joke with Roger Wilkerson, and he goes, "Why do you want to be on LinkedIn?" It's like, because I can. It's like I want to be here. And so I started streaming to YouTube and then putting it up like a LinkedIn Live. No, it wasn't on LinkedIn Live, but it's just like, hey, I'm a pirate. I'm just going to go out there and do it. It's like, the pirate broadcast. You don't need the FCC permission. You don't need a producer to say you can do this. You don't need a record company to say I can create this music. I and you and we all can produce the content and the information and share it to the degree that we can. So I,
That's
I
right.
just think it's an amazing opportunity and a time in life that when you realize the magnitude of what we're doing here and the opportunity here, it just blows your mind. It blows my mind anyway.
And it's cool about it is it's nonstop, man. Whenever you're inspired to inspire, you've got the platform to do that. So
Yeah.
please do can continue and keep it up. Hey, man, I don't like so. I didn't. I should have looked, and I didn't. So what do you do, man, when you're not pirating and broadcasting? What do you do? How do you serve people?
Well, very much the same way. I have an agency. I have clients. I do virtual marketing management and video strategy for clients, and I help them get their message out, broadcast, be seen, be heard, be talked about. And I'm at a point in my life where I flexibility and freedom is my priority, and joy in the day and in the moment. So I have a few startups that I help with their strategy and building out their systems and automation. And I'm one of those people that in fact, I got called out the other day because my branding's off, because it doesn't, my website, if you go to russjohns.com, here, I'll put this up here, russjohns.com, the Pirate Broadcast, you can see some of the effort and things I do, but it doesn't really tell the story about what I do. So it's like, I need to really,
you need to make some cues here, Mr. Cobbler. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yeah, the plumber's sink always leaks, right?
Right.
And, however, I've always been hesitant to put a label on what I do, because I like doing a lot of different things. So
that was my intro on LinkedIn for a year, was if you ask 10 people, what does Terry Bean do? You'll get 10 smiles and 9 different answers. I thought that was brilliant. And then I realized, now the joke's on you, fool. That doesn't help explain anything.
That doesn't help attract people to what you're doing. So
it doesn't, man.
However, I do have to tell you, I'm putting together one of the things I'm really passionate about is helping people get their video production online. And just like I've been testing this thing called PirateBroadcast, and the real secret sauce is the fact that we can go live, and I can have a live feed content on Facebook pages, YouTube, podcasting, and a blog post, and then back on LinkedIn in the same day.
That's awesome.
And how was the process you went through to get on the Pirate Broadcast?
Well, Mr. Johns, you know that I was running a little bit late, and I have never used StreamYard, so I had to sign up, log in, and then figure out how to navigate my way here. That whole thing took at least 48 seconds, maybe 52. I'm not sure. I didn't time it. But yeah, man, it was like, and part of it is because I spelled my name wrong. I was typing fast, man. Big thumbs, little phone.
Yeah.
No, so, it was stupid easy, man. It was stupid.
But that's the whole point is taking the complex and making it simple and helping others get to that point.
And that's a beautiful thing. And at this point, at this day and age, if it's not, people bounce. And I mean, that's a lesson. I don't care if you're having an opt-in form on your website, or you're trying to gather stuff in a Survey Monkey or whatever. If it ain't easy, people are leaving you. So you've got to take the time to simplify it. The work needs to be on your end, not their end. And you did a good job with that for sure.
Well, I just appreciate that you're here, and I'm glad that you were able to make it through that login, that treacherous path of logging into a web page and spelling your name correctly.
It ended up being like Benas or Benaz, Benaz. I'm like, that ain't even close, man. Well, I mean, it does. Better than Terry Berry. That's a whole different story.
Well, awesome. Well, I thank you everyone for being here today. It's an amazing Friday, and go out and make the best of it. Do something to cause a ripple in someone else's life. Make it positive, make it full of joy. Find the moment and enjoy it in your day. And Terry, thank you so much for being here. All the gratitude in the world. I really appreciate you and your efforts online and offline. And kindness is cool. Smiles are free, and you enjoy the day.